welcome to my channel. So we have reached episode 5 of the Wheel of Time, so let's get into it. In this episode, we're introduced to the city of Tar Valon, and what an exciting place it is. I give lots of props to the production design because I've heard that Tar Valon was inspired by Marrakesh in Morocco, and I love the open markets and the first sight of the White Tower. It made me more intrigued about the story of the Aes Sedai. So as Moraine puts Nynaeve on her reclusive room, she says, and I don't want to get this wrong, do not underestimate the women in this tower. Each of them has her own goal, her own agenda, her own pride and ambition. And a lot of people are comparing the Wheel of Time to Game of Thrones, and I still don't see it until here, because I kept thinking, are the Aes Sedai competing for a throne? I'm starting to see a lot of politics here. That's making me question if they're really sisters, or at some point they're gonna turn into each other, because Liadrin, the red blonde one, she rubs me the wrong way. And it looks like Liadrin and Moraine have some past beef between them. And by now we know from the conversation that Moraine had with Alana that Moraine is hiding something from her past. So knowing that now, can we trust her? The White Clothes are back, and they capture Egwene and Perrin. In that scene where they are undressing and washing and scrubbing Egwene, that scene just like, oh, was so uncomfortable. It gave me the creeps. The actor who's playing Child Alva is doing such a great job. And I noticed that Egwene only stabbed him. She didn't really kill him. And you know what I say in series and movies, if you don't see that person actually dying, he might come back. And I hope he does, because he's playing a great villain here. I was very happy with the questions that were left. Like, is she an Aes Sedai? Is he a werewolf? What is going on? Because we know that he can, communicate with the wolves, and now we see the yellow eyes. We're also introduced to the Ogier Loyal when Rand meets him at this library, and I can tell it already, I'm going to love Loyal. I think he will bring some comedy to the show, some sarcasm, and he seems very knowledgeable. I also saw some behind the scenes of the actor who plays Loyal, and he seems so charismatic. And still on the journey of Rand and Matt, one thing that I noticed, it was when Matt was feeling guilty about the family that was murdered in the barn that they were staying, and Rand was telling him, it was not your fault. It was the fate. It was not your fault. Matt gives him a certain look that made me wonder, wait, was it you that killed the family? Because then I called it totally wrong at my last video because I thought it was the fate. One thing I did not like about this episode, it was when Nynaeve went to meet with Rand, and I was like, wait, you were just talking to Liadrin. It was just like, who made this happen? Liadrin, Loyal? And I thought this was the perfect example of how the show, it's rushing into things. They went from here to here, what happened in between? This was basically the episode for us to feel Stephen's pain as he mourns the death of Kareen's. And not his particular pain, but the pain of a warder when he loses his Aes Sedai. You can really feel how much she meant to him. And it seemed like every time we saw Stephen's painful look, we will get a shot or a scene of Lon and Moraine, because they're wondering, what if it's us? What if it happens to us? Even more so when Moraine asked Alana if the bond can be broken. I was so surprised when Stephen killed himself, because I thought he was gonna become Nynaeve's warder, and he had one of the best lines on this episode. Love, it's always a bad idea, but life will be intolerable without it. I really like this episode because I felt there was a lot more character development here than the previous ones. Daniel Henney, he made this episode his, especially during Stephen's funeral. That was so heart wrenching. And both him and Rosamund Pike really showcased their chemistry in this episode. I also like that there was more dialogues than action scenes, but that's a personal thing for me because I love dialogues. So what did you think about episode 5 of The Wheel of Time? Let me know in the comments down below. I also want to thank all of you who are watching my videos. I love our discussions. You fans are awesome about answering the questions that I have and not spoiling anything for me. So I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching the videos and engaging. So before I ramble too much, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell, the notification button, so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time.